Big Ten. Let's get into it. So this guy takes us back to the season of 2022-2023. And the year before, my dad had been hunting this little 35-acre piece of property. So 2022, I decided to go in on it with him. And before season, we started getting 2 bucks on camera that were really nice. Very great 9-point and very good 10-point. And my dad kind of decided right off the rip, he loved the 9-point. He had his sights set on the 9-point. This deer right here spoke out to me. We kind of went separate ways as far as we could on 35 acres and got a game plan together on how we were going to kill these deer. And they stayed paired up for a long time. And as season rolled around, they kind of started branching off and splitting up. Shortly after season started, the 9-point was pretty consistent. He was staying on the property, and this guy right here, he just completely vanished. I was pretty sure somebody had taken him. Kind of sucked, but I didn't give up on him. Just hoping we would cross paths one day. I quit my job and everything. I put in so much time. This is the one and only deer that I have ever put in just hours and hours and hours of hunting. It was a rough season. It was a really rough season. So I hunted as hard as I could, never saw him. He would hit the trail camera here and there, so I knew he was still alive, but he wasn't hanging around. Rut finally started kicking off about mid-season, kind of the late November time frame, and we were getting new bugs popping up. There was one morning in particular that I will never forget. Me and my dad were both hunting. Our stands were, it's 35 acres, they were super close to each other, and I heard him shoot. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, he just got his 9-point. Good stuff. It's not a bust of a season. At least one of us has done something. About 30 seconds later, he shot again. He immediately texted me and said, "You're going to be mad." I didn't even let it process. I didn't take time. I didn't text him back. I got out of the stand and went straight to him, thinking he got a 9 and 10-point. He actually killed 2 deer that we had never had on camera. 2 very great deer. I'll throw a picture up of him holding these deer. He tagged out that morning, and I'm super proud for him. He doubled up, first time he's ever doubled up on bucks, and it was a pretty cool morning. I didn't give up. I kept hunting. I hunted as hard as I could. I started hunting his stand because it's kind of set up where you can see most of the property, other than a few little pockets. And I watched some very good deer. For 35 acres, I probably should have taken them. But I let them go, just holding out and hoping to cross paths with this guy. It wasn't in the cards for me. I got super discouraged. Almost gave up hunting completely. This deer drove me absolutely insane. I kind of just, if it happens, it happens. So my cousin was wanting to go kill a deer with his bow. We had plenty of does on the property, and he had never taken a deer with a bow. So I took him, and that afternoon, we had a doe come running by. Rut's in full swing. We had a doe come running by out of nowhere, come from behind us. We were sitting on a little ground blind. She kept going running right past us, and we could hear something else behind her running. And whatever it was, I don't know if it was him, I don't know if it was another buck, but it come up right behind the blind, probably 30 yards behind the blind, snort wheezed, and we never heard it again. We never heard another sound. We got as quiet as we could, didn't move a muscle. I don't know if he winded us. I wouldn't think he winded us being hot on a doe, but whatever happened, that buck did not come out. Still kept hunting hard. He started showing up on camera pretty consistently at this ground blind, and I hunted there as much as I could. Every morning, every afternoon, every chance I got to be in the woods, I was in that ground blind. Kind of mid-December, I gave up completely. I decided I was done. I was hunting one last time. I was sitting in that ground blind, and it was hot. I was sitting there pouring sweat. The sun set directly in front of that blind, so I was cooking. And just sitting there taking off layers, being noisy. Like, I didn't care anymore. I was kind of over it. Me and him had a cat and mouse for a while going, to where he was there, I wasn't. I was there, he wasn't. He was outsmarting me. Every play of the game, he was outsmarting me. So I ended up just thinking, you know, it's done. This season's over with. I'm not going to kill this deer. And that afternoon, it was December 13th, that afternoon, that I had just said, screw it, I'm done. Sitting there playing on my phone, and I looked up, and there's a deer in front of me about 120 yards out. And I noticed a very, very distinct characteristic that this deer has, and it's that kicker off of his G3 on his left knee. And once I noticed that, I never looked up top again. He started coming in. We had a corn pile and a camera set up about 45 yards from the blind, and he was working that way. So once he got behind this big oak tree, I went ahead and got my rifle up. Bows weren't a thing for me back then. Went ahead and got my rifle up, and he hung up right there. And I have a good look at him, but I don't have a shot at him. So my nerves are rattled. All the anticipation that I had built up, all of the excitement that I had played in my head of killing this deer, all of it hit me at once, and he was standing right there, but I couldn't do anything. So I didn't move. I stayed as quiet as I could, just hoping, and he finally walked to that corn pile. And when he did, I was scared to take a shot. I sat there trying to get the crosshairs on his shoulder, swaying all over the place. I didn't have any way to prop up. And all I could tell myself was, don't miss, don't miss, don't miss, don't miss, don't miss. And finally settled down just enough to get it on his shoulder, squeezed off around, and here we are with him. It took 2 years to get this deer mounted, but he is my personal best. This was the last buck I killed, and this was the last deer I killed with a rifle. After him, I put the rifle down. I wish I would have been videoing back then. I wish I would have been filming, but the only footage I got was after I killed him. I called my dad, and he come running through the woods, because he was hunting that afternoon too. He come running through the woods, got over there to me. By then I was at the deer, and I took a Snapchat of how far he was from the blind. And the whole video, y'all can just see the whole video. I was shaking so bad. It was kind of the perfect season. It was a rough season, but it was the perfect season. I learned a lot of discipline that season, and I've watched plenty of deer before. I've waited on the right opportunity. I've never been one to just go and kill something that doesn't need killing. But this one taught me some lessons, and it paid off in the end. It ended how it should. Pretty sure I quit hunting for the season after I got him. Mentally, he destroyed me this season. Here we are 2 years later telling the story I'll never forget. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. We got a lot of footage coming this season. We got turkey season right around the corner. We're going to be doing some hunting, filming the hunts. Deer season's right around the corner. We got guys that just absolutely eat this one up. So we got some good footage coming. Y'all be sure to follow along, and we'll see you on the next one.